Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
As Peter stood before General Duke, he was faced with a daunting decision: betray his friends or risk everything to protect them. But what drove Peter to make the choice he did? And what will be the consequences of his actions?
The night before the incident, while Quinn was sound asleep waiting for the other two to return, Peter had been called out by the group of first years. They had added him as a friend on his communicator watch and was able to send a message whenever they wanted to call him. That night, they had asked to meet outside of the dorm room building. 5 of the first years were standing outside, including Earl. "So I see it looks like your friends seem to still trust you, and you managed to get on their team then?" Earl said as he lifted his hand to look at his watch. "Oh, didn't I say to meet here at 8:30? It looks like you're a couple of minutes late." 2 of the first-year students then rushed over and grabbed Peter. One of them held his hand behind his back, while the other held out his right hand. 2 minutes late means 2 fingers, I'm afraid." Earl then held one of Peter's fingers. "Wait, I'm sorry, I needed to be careful. I had to make sure Vorden wasn't following me as you asked," Peter cried. Fine, I'll be generous," Earl said as he pushed down and snapped Peter's finger. Before Peter could even cry out in anger, he bit his tongue for fear that they might do something much worse if someone had heard him. The others watching flinched at the sight. Although they were helping Earl, even they feared him a little. It wasn't normal for someone to be able to hurt or break someone's bones so easily like that, but Earl was able to repeatedly do it easily as if it was nothing. "We will only do 1 finger then, but you know what will happen if you're late again," Earl said as one of the first years came over and started to heal Peter's finger. As the student healed Peter's finger, he could feel Peter's body shaking. His eyes half dead, the boy wanted to say he was sorry, but knew that was how the world currently was. All he had was a healing ability. He had no combat powers and had no choice but to follow those stronger than him. Otherwise, it would be him instead of Peter in this situation. "I called you out here because the general wants to have a meeting with you," Earl explained. The group of first-year students, including Peter, then started to escort him around the school. That's when Peter noticed that they had left the first-year campus building and had gone into the second-year buildings. Instead of going through the front entrance, though, they entered through the back and took the emergency exit stairs. The walk was long, but they had finally reached one of the private integration rooms for second-year students. Earl knocked on the door before entering, and only entered once he heard a voice. "Come in," the man said. As they entered the room, there was a table and 2 chairs opposite each other. Sitting in one of the seats was the General Duke, who was in charge of the second year. "You guys wait outside. I would like to talk with Peter on his own," Duke said. The first years left the room and waited patiently just outside the door. "Relax, take a seat, no need to be afraid." Peter did as Duke asked and sat in the seat, but couldn't help but wonder why the general had asked to meet him. "Peter, would you like to have the power to fight back?" Suddenly, Peter's dead eyes went slightly into life again as he heard those words. "I looked at your file. You had no ability before coming here, and when you entered school, we gave you the Earth ability. Right now, you're only a level 1, but I can change that for you." Duke then pulled out several Earth skill books and threw them out on the table. "I know you've been saving up trying to get your hands on these. With this, you can finally get out of the level 1 power range, and with that, your troubles would go away. You would be able to graduate from school with a good grade, join a company to go hunting, and earn a good wage for the rest of your life. Sounds nice, doesn't it?" Duke said with a huge smile on his face. Peter couldn't keep his eyes off the skill books in front of him. These skill books were ones that only the military had a hold of. Now that Peter had the Earth ability, the only way he could improve his power was through these skill books. Then finally, he would no longer have to live his life in fear. "Of course, these things don't come for free. The world doesn't work like that. Those men out there work for me. They do what I say, and in return, I offer them protection within the school and outside of the school. Not only that, but they get rewarded for doing well," he said as he held up one of the skill books. "You're going on your first portal outing sometime soon, aren't you? Let me tell you, accidents happen all the time, and every year a student dies on another planet. Now, information has it that maybe this year, someone from that team of yours will go missing. You're a smart boy, so I think you can understand what I'm saying. Now, maybe that person will be you, maybe not." Last night it was clear to Peter what Duke was saying. Either he did what Duke said, or he was the one who would go missing. but the target was never meant to be Quinn. The target was always Vorden. When Quinn shouted and had somehow found out Peter was in on the plan, he panicked. He didn't know what to do and had pushed Quinn into the portal. His hands were now shaking as the realization had hit him. "What the hell have you done?" Vorden shouted. "I'm sorry," Peter said. "You don't understand. I had to do it." "What? Let me guess. Because you were being bullied? Because you were being threatened?" Vorden shouted as he continued to walk towards Peter, and at the same time, Peter would walk back. "Do you not think Quinn has been going through the same thing as you? He's a level 1 just like you. And do you think they didn't try threatening me when I was tied up and placed on that thing? So what if they hit you? They punch you and make you bleed. You can fight back. As long as you are alive, you can always fight back." Vorden then pointed towards the red portal. "But what have you done? You have basically sent Quinn to death. No matter what, there is no coming back from death. He can't fight back now." Peter then fell to his knees as his mind was in a mess. All Peter wanted was a normal school life, to go through it without any troubles. And someone was offering that to him. Maybe he took the easy way out, but he didn't feel that way. He had already gone through his own suffering. Why did he have to be the one targeted by Earl and the others? But there was one thing that Vorden said that did strike a chord with Peter. Did he ever try fighting back? He always thought it was useless. Perhaps that's what made Duke and the others think he was an easy target in the first place. Then suddenly, Vorden started grabbing his head. He started moving all over the place, swinging his head like crazy. "I can't hold him back anymore, Vorden." "You have to try. If he takes over, who knows when I'll get control again." "The shock is too much for him. Looking at Peter is only making his emotions stronger." As Vorden looked up, Peter could see his eyes filled with tears, sadness. Then Vorden looked towards the portal. "No! What are you thinking?" Peter shouted. Vorden then turned around and looked at Peter. "Peter, this is for your own sake, but you better hope I don't come back out of here alive." Vorden then ran straight into the red portal, his body vanishing from the room. When teleportation devices were first discovered, there was hope that they would be able to set these to travel to wherever they wanted to. Spacecraft had been invented but were unable to travel at light speeds needed to make it viable. No one knew the truth, and scientists could only theorize where exactly these portals led to, but what they did find was each of these planets harbored deadly beasts. Then, when the first beast was killed and harvested for research, the beast crystal located inside it was discovered. Inside the crystal contained a power far greater than anyone could imagine. There weren't many with powerful abilities strong enough to go against the Dalki. Their technology was too advanced compared to humans, but then a new discovery was made with the beast crystal, thanks to Richard Eno once again, and that was the discovery of beast weapons. As Vorden jumped into the red portal, he felt a tingling sensation all over his body. The world around him started to warp and displace, and his mind felt like it was melting. It wasn't a horrible feeling. In fact, the feeling received when traveling through the teleportation device even felt addicting to some. A few moments later, Vorden had arrived at his destination. He opened his eyes, and the first thing he noticed was the place was incredibly dark. The sky was black, and the only light source available was from the 2 moons outside in the distant sky. Around him were crumbled-down buildings and structures, as if at one point the place was used to live in. Vorden still had his hands held by his head, but when he opened his eyes, the pain started to go away, and his mind started to clear up. "It seems like the little one has finally calmed down," Vorden said. "Any longer and he might have come out and done something." "What does the matter?" Rayton argued. "Do you even know where we are? You jumped through that red portal." Vorden then started to look at his surroundings. It was strange to see building structures around them. When there was building work, it would usually be Dalki structure, but this was clearly not Dalki-based. "Aren't the red portals meant to be on sheltered planets? This place looks like a broken shelter." "I think you are forgetting something," Rayton said. "While orange may mean it's in the process of being taken over and sheltered being places, red can also mean it's too dangerous to build a shelter in the first place." "What do you mean?" Vorden asked. "Are you really being so stupid? Sure, you might have run through that portal so you didn't kill your friend, but what's the point if we die instead? The only ability we have right now is that weak level 1 Earth ability. If we run into a deadly beast, we're doomed." That wasn't the only problem. Only green teleporters the public were able to use, and they were strictly monitored by the company that owned them. Meaning the only people that would be around here would be travelers. With no people around and only a beast, Vorden was stuck with his one ability, and it would only last him 24 hours. Then a thought came to Vorden's mind. Quinn. The portal was unable to send you to a pinpoint location, but it did put you in the same general area, at least within 10 miles of each other, and with the chance of the beast being around every corner, it would be hard to find Quinn. For now, Vorden would look for a portal back to the Academy while also searching for Quinn. Somewhere on the same planet, Quinn had also arrived. His heart was beating rapidly as it was the first time he had experienced such a thing. "Peter, what the hell was that?" Quinn thought. "Damn it, he must have pushed me through the portal. Where am I?" As Quinn looked around, he could see the similar buildings around him all crumbled, torn, and fallen down. However, there was one saving grace about the whole thing. On the planet it was currently nighttime, meaning Quinn didn't feel weak and had a better chance of surviving. However, before Quinn had even moved from the spot he was in, he spotted something from the corner of his eye. He was standing in the middle of a street, surrounded by crumbled buildings on both sides, but whatever was moving around was quick and was using the buildings as cover. Quinn tried to follow whatever it was with his eyes, but it would constantly move around until it had eventually stopped just underneath a pile of rubble from one of the buildings. In the movies, this is where the person would go check it out, Quinn thought, but there was no way he was going to do that. He was on an unknown planet and all alone, and whatever it was clear it didn't want him to see it. Quinn started to back away, making sure to keep an eye on where he last saw the figure. Then, when he was a safe enough distance away, he finally turned around. In that instant, a sound could be heard from behind. Quinn immediately turned around and could see a horrible figure running towards him. It clearly wasn't an ordinary animal and something he had only ever seen in books and TV. It was a beast.
Will Vorden be able to survive the dangers of the Red Portal and find Quinn before it's too late? What secrets lie hidden on this mysterious planet? And what beasts will they have to face in order to make it out alive?
Subscribe to the Pocket FM Blockbuster YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notifications. Check out our channel for more exciting shows.
Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.